Hey everybody, welcome back to the McGuire Motorsports YouTube channel. We're here in the shop today doing a little work on Mom and Dad's Mustang. It's starting to get cool. It's a real rainy and wet afternoon here. We're getting stuff sort of settled for winter so we can work on the projects we need to during the winter and store some of the items that we don't need out during the winter months. One of which will be this Mustang. But something we need to address before we store it is we had an issue last time we had it out, and the car don't get drove a lot, but the front brake calipers are wanting to stick on it, which is a very common problem. It seems like with all disc brakes anymore. But we're going to sort of tear into it, see what we can find out. What we're suspecting is maybe where it does set a lot, the slides on the brake caliper might be what's sticking, so we're going to clean it up real good, put a little grease on that, see if that helps it out. But we're going to go ahead and get the front end of the car up in the air and kind of show you guys what we do as we do it, and hopefully this will make a pretty good little video about if you may have brakes sticking on a vehicle. So let's go ahead and get started. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright guys, so I thought I'd start off just kind of showing you guys the little Mustang. Don't think we ever really showed it, maybe just in the background shots, but very nice little car. It's a 2001. Of course you can see it's convertible GT. It is an automatic car. It was originally purchased for my mom, but honestly, she's more of a truck person. She likes her truck a lot better. So Mom and Dad's never drove it a whole lot. They just liked the car. Mom's always been a fan of a Mustang. Had it when she was a young teenage girl. But this right here is a ultra clean car. Paint is all original and in good shape. So got all the original leather black upholstery, no rips, no real wrinkles or anything like the leather sometimes tends to do. Again, it's the 4.6. The only thing that's ever been done to it before we got it had a cold air intake installed. Far as I know, it's the original top and it's still in great shape. Everything still looks good. The car is dirty and dusty where it's just been sitting in here. But we'll open it up here and let you see inside. Again, the interior is in immaculate shape for a 2001 Mustang. If you guys know anything about these cars, the leather usually cracks almost immediately. Dash is in perfect shape. I mean, it's just a really nice car. But like I was saying, we got a little issue with the front brake sticking, more than likely from the car setting a lot. So we'll try to jack the car up here and see what we can do with it. I just thought I'd do a quick walk around of the car, show you what we got here. Again, it's just a beautiful car. This is a zinc yellow, which is the same as the chrome yellow on earlier models. Got the 17-inch torque thrust type wheels on it. Just a nice, clean, straight car. We may do a little cleanup video on this car too, because like I say, it's set quite a bit. I mean, the paint shines and everything really well. Just a light polish would probably do it. But it's just, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's just a lot of dust and debris on the paint where it's set a lot. See if I can raise the hood for you here. I think it's popped. Kind of tough to do one-handed, but we'll try to get it for you. There it is. Alright. Again, just a bone stock 4.6. This cold air pipe was on it when we bought it. If we had it, we'd probably put the original filter kit on it, because they're just hard to find this clean. But we'll get this car up in there, get the front wheels off, and see about these brakes. Alright guys, so we got the jack under the car here. Just got a garbage bag, keep from dirtying the floor up too much. But as you can see, the wheel is off the jack. There's nothing under it there. And you cannot, for anything, turn that wheel. Exerting a lot of force on it and it will not turn. So obviously the caliper is locked up for some reason. Don't know what it is, but that's what we're going to dive into and look at. So we're going to go ahead and get this tire off, and then we'll come here and see what exactly is going on. Because I mean, it should not be that tight. It should freely spin. With very little drag. So again, it might be those slide pins, it could be the brake line itself. it's something we're just going to get in here and look at. So I just wanted to show you guys how tight this wheel's actually locked up. So it's taking a lot of power from the car just trying to make it turn the way in the shape it was in. So let's go and get this wheel off and we'll go from there and see what we can do with it. Alright guys, so we bought a new tool here we're going to try out. We've had good luck with the Bauer brand, or Harbor Freight's what they are. Bauer branded impacts, like the ones that for like a screw gun. We've had real good luck out of these in some of our just like carpentry type building projects. We've used them for tearing down engines and all that kind of stuff. So we got one of these battery powered impact wrench, impact gun, however you want to call it, to fit sockets on. I mean, it's the first time we pulled it out of the box. As you can see, I mean, everything's still wrapped up. It's just like a belt clip if you need it. Probably won't even put that on it. But if you can, we'll go and get this out of the box. We thought we'd try it on these lug nuts, see if it would bust free. As you can see on the box, it says it's supposed to be 450 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. If that's true, it should make light work of these lug nuts. Right here you can see. So we'll see if it's truly 450 foot-pounds. That should definitely take a wheel off. And I hope it does. This one's not the 1/2 inch drive, it's the 3/8 drive. Oh, is it 1/2 inch? Maybe it is 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch impact, okay. I was thinking it's 3/8. But it is 1/2 inch drive. So I do need to get some impact sockets for it. Up until recently, we always just used hand tools, but I guess as I'm getting older, kind of want it to be a little easier. Dad's got a battery here for us. Just a standard 20 volt battery. This has to be one of the 3 amp hour ones that we use a lot on, like the battery powered circular saw. We'll slide this on. And I will need to run over and get a socket real quick for it. So let me run and grab that and we'll see how this does. I will say it's got a little bit of heft to it though. So that's probably what, a 3/4. We'll grab a 3/4 and see what we can do with it.
3/4, might be a 13.
Yeah,
grab one while you're there.
If you want to kill that camera for a minute, you can, because it'll be a second. We'll dig up the socket. Alright guys, so we found us a socket there finally. We thought it might have been 3/4, but it looks like 13/16 is what it actually is. We'll go ahead and try it out. So we're back to the battery impact now. Just to be completely honest with you, we broke a adapter for a ratchet and everything. These were on one of them extremely too tight. If anybody would have broke down the side of the road, I don't know what you would have done. You'd have been in a lot of trouble. However, I went and got Old Faithful here. I had to go back to old school methods. We always usually keep this in the race trailer in the back of the Super Duty over there, just in case roadside emergencies. But I had to go grab it out of the trailer real quick. We was able to go ahead and break them this way loose. It's a lot more physical labor, but sometimes that's what's necessary. More than likely, we got a time lapse on here. You've probably seen us having to deal with some of that. But either way, let's go ahead and got them all broke loose. We'll zip them off now with this battery impact. All 5 lug nuts off. Let's go ahead, pull the wheel apart. Alright guys, so we'll go ahead and dive into taking all this apart, and we'll get right back with you as soon as we dig a little deeper. Okay guys, so I think we might have figured out the problem. And I'll show you one of the brake pads here. I think in all honesty, the brake pads were just wore out. You can see, I mean, they're down to shiny there. Never mind that spot right there, that's just where we was using it to prise the pistons back in. But really just need some brake pads. So I think that what's happened, these are your brake pistons right here. That it's a dual, piston on a Mustang GT. Don't know if the V6 cars are or not, but the GT for sure is because we're looking at it. But as the brake fluid hits back here through this line, it pushes these pistons out. There's a brake pad rests here, and then one up against the pistons, and it squeezes down on the caliper, or the rotor right here, which is what clamps. Also, as that pushes, it makes this caliper sort of slide, back and forth this way, where it bolts in at on these little slide pins that they screw into. We'll also go ahead and grease those slide pins just to ensure that they are working freely. I think they're actually in pretty decent shape there, but it's just something where you got it apart, you might as well. So we're going to load up, go to the store, and see about getting some brake pads. Hopefully got them in stock here. If this side's worn like that, I guarantee the other side is too. So we'll go ahead and try to get that. And also, we always had to complain a little bit of shake in the car. Like I say, we've not done anything to this car other than drive it a little bit and wash it a few times. But something we noticed when we took the wheel off, there never was weights, on the front side of the wheel, which on a nicer wheel like this, a lot of people don't ever put weights on them. But then as we got to the back side here and I got to looking, there's no weights on the perimeter. And also, if you look in the barrel of the wheel, there's not even any stick-on weights, which tells me that the wheel has never been balanced. So we thought maybe we had a bad tire or something. Tires are probably fine, it just needs to be balanced. Somebody just threw tires on it and let it ride. So that's just on a side note. So let's go get us some brake pads and see about getting this rest way back together. Alright guys, so we're back from the parts store. We picked up some pads right here for the little Mustang project. Dad right now is using some brake clean. Got the little slide pin out that the caliper bolts to, and has cleaned it off. Got all the old grease off, and he's cleaning out the inside of the bracket where the slide pin goes. So we'll get those cleaned up. Go ahead and lay some new pads in. Start reassembling. Alright guys, we've been working for a while here. More than likely have some time-lapse footage of what we've been doing. We had got the caliper off here. Showed you guys the brake pads down here. I mean, they're just shot completely. So The last little bit, you know, we told you we went and got brake pads. Came here getting ready just to do a simple brake job. We greased the slide pins that go here and one that goes up here that the caliper bolts to. Started pushing the pistons back. That way it'd slip over the, I mean, we got the new pads laid in here as well. But that's when we noticed when we was pushing the pistons back, it's like they just wouldn't push back far enough to clear the new pads. Tried several different things. And you know, just nothing was really working. So we said, well, maybe see if they're even moving. Dad got in, started the car up, hit the brakes a few times. You can see here, obviously, this piston came out quite a bit. Was actually all the way out of the bore. I pushed it back in just a little bit to keep it for now. This piston did not move at all. So I'm thinking there's a problem internally with the caliper. So we went ahead and called the parts store, got some on order. This is a Saturday evening. Not even sure what time it is. It's after dark. It's 5:30 or 6 probably. But either way, the parts, none of the parts places have any calipers in stock for a Mustang, which I think's crazy. I mean, it's a Mustang. There's a million of these cars. You think they'd have a brake caliper for one of the most common cars out there, but I guess not. So that's where we're at for right now. We'll keep on after it. Monday at 12:30, they're supposed to have some calipers in. We'll go ahead and swap this one out, see if that improves our situation, and then move on to the other side. And then, like I say, just more or less we're trying to winterize the car and get it ready for winter storage. Gonna make room here in the center bay of the garage to get the 71 F100 over here. Maybe do a little bit this winter. In our spare time, we actually got a whole lot going on this winter, but just an effort to keep a little content going for you guys and something to keep us busy on when we do get a little downtime. Still got a few things coming up with the Silverado, so stay tuned for that as well. We'll probably just continue this video on till we get through this job, but we're done for tonight. We'll pick back up just as soon as we get calipers. Thank you guys. Alright guys, so it's now Monday evening. Yeah, we last cut the video off, it was Saturday evening. We had ordered some new calipers and they come in. Actually was able to get them Sunday afternoon. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and definitely replace this driver's side caliper here on this Mustang. And plus we'll jump over to the other side and see if that caliper's free and decide if we want to replace it or not. I have it sitting here if we do need to replace it. But we'll make that decision here in a few minutes. So let's just go ahead and get started back. Alright guys, so you've already seen us take the caliper off with the bolts that go through these ears here and the one up top here. And it just simply just slides off there. You may have to pry on it a little bit to get it over the pads. So you've seen us get that far. So the next step to fully removing the caliper is actually removing this hose. And it comes over here and got a bolt right over here. The bolt is it's about a 17 millimeter. Honestly, I couldn't find my 17. A 11/16 fit it pretty well. That's what's on my ratchet. Right here was 11/16, and it seems to fit pretty well in there. So that's what we'll use. Also, as a side note, it's going to leak a little fluid. I just got an old water bottle, cut the top off. I'll be able to stab the line right in it. That way we don't make a mess here in the floor of the garage. And try to keep it all contained as much as possible. So let's go ahead and pull it off. There's also a couple of copper washers on here that we need to try to keep up with. Sometimes they come with the new calipers, but there's no guarantee for that. But it's nice to keep them if you can, in case you need to reuse them. Yeah, there we go. Again, I'm going to take it, shove it right down in my water bottle. That way the water bottle will catch any dripping fluid, because it will drip the entire time that it's loose from the caliper. And now, you can see we have our caliper off. So, oh, poured a little brake fluid out of the caliper. It will leak out of the side of it, just so you know. So don't be a fool like I am and turn it up that way. Alright, so let's go ahead. Next we'll try to pull this bracket off that the caliper bolts to. And then, because it comes with a new bracket with the new caliper, and honestly it just looks better than this one. So we'll go ahead and get it out. Okay guys, so like I said, now we're going to pull this bracket off. There's a bolt, they bolt through the back side here. Really can't get you a great camera angle on it, but it's just 2 bolts to take it off. So we'll go ahead, get them whizzed out real quick. Anybody might could use one of the impact guns on this, but there's not a lot of space in here. So those guns get pretty bulky. So we're just doing it old fashioned with the socket and the ratchet. These bolts appear to be a 16 millimeter. Alright, so we've about got the first one out. Now we'll jump down here and get the lower one. There we go. You can see it's trying to lift the bracket out already. Go, and now it's out. I already put the pads in this one because I thought we was using the same caliper until we figured out otherwise. So I'll just go ahead, and these are brand new pads that we put in there the other day. I'll set them out and they'll be ready to use into the new bracket and caliper. There we go. Alright guys, so we went and got the new caliper bracket on here. Pretty simple and straightforward. Bolts in the exact way using the same bolts. I've already got, the bolts back here in the rear tightened and snug down. So that's all good to go. Also, we talked about the copper washers that come on the calipers. These actually did, if I can get on there, has the copper washers. There's 2 of them. Goes one on the up against the caliper, then the banjo fitting goes over it. That also comes with this new banjo bolt. So we go copper fitting, the banjo fitting, the next copper fitting, and then this banjo bolt will go in and tighten down over top of it. So that'll be our next step. Alright guys, one other thing I'm going to mention before stick the caliper on is we had a little bit of brake fluid drip down on the rotor. As well as just, we've been wearing gloves, but any fingerprints, grease you get on there will affect the performance of the brakes. It's just not good on, wearing them in very good. Basically, you don't grease the brake itself. You want it to have the friction to be able to stop. So any type of brake cleaner will work. This is what we happen to have on hand. Just brake clean like what just about everybody uses. I believe this one even comes from a dollar store. You can get it pretty much anywhere. So we're just going to real quick, I don't want to make a mess in here. We're just going to spray a little bit of brake clean on this rag and then wipe across the rubber real quick. And you can see it evaporates pretty quick. There we go. Again, we just want to get any brake fluid and residues off of our rotor. Also, I think we need to mention that you need to remember that your rotor has a backside. So make sure that you get it nice and clean as well. Again, it's just a simple, this baby's loaded with brake cleaner now. Going through, rotating it around, and getting it all wiped off. And it already looks a lot better. Again, you hear some dragging there. It's just where the rotor's not sitting on there flat just yet. When you hold it on there flat, there's no drag. Alright, so let's go ahead, get this caliper on, and we'll bring you back in a minute to show you what's going on. Alright guys, so hopefully time lapse caught it back here behind me. But we went ahead and got the brake line attached to the caliper, cleaned the rotor off. Then we went in and put the two 12mm bolts back in, hose the caliper to the bracket. Of course, we preloaded the pads into the bracket. As of right now, for sure, it's definitely, you know, rotating a lot better than it was. If you remember, even with the wheel on it before, you could not rotate the wheel over. So we got that all taken care of. This side's pretty much finished. I'm gonna hop over and check the other side. The only thing left over here will be to actually bleed the hydraulic system, get all the air out, which I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. You have to definitely got some air inside the caliper, but it's been gravity bleeding the whole time we've had it apart here. So you should have fluid all the way down to the hose. It's just actually getting it down into the caliper itself. So let's hop over to the other side and try to get it completed. Alright guys, so now we got the passenger side done as well. Got the bleeder screws up top here, if I can get you in the frame. Bleeder screw up top there, got it cracked open, doing a little bit of gravity bleed right now. You can see this one turns freely now as well, and it didn't before. Of course, you already know about the other side. Right now I got Dad gonna add some more brake fluid in. That's what he's doing there at this time. And then we'll start bleeding the brakes out, make sure we get all the air out of the system. Again, it's as simple as, you know, like right now we just got an open waste pouring fluid in there to gravity bleed a little bit. But then we'll start the process where you have to pump them a little bit and then open the side and let it push air out, and it might be a process you gotta do 2 or 3 times. We'll do that for each side, and then should be able to put the wheels back on and have free brakes again. We'll keep you updated. Alright guys, so hope you can see from time lapse what we've been showing you. Really, the brake caliper itself must have been sticking on this car, must have been the problem all along. This driver's side, I showed you the brake pads, they were in horrible shape down really to the metal. Hadn't really damaged the rotor any yet, so we was able to get by with that. And we couldn't get the caliper to squeeze in enough to even get it over the new pads. So that's when we decided to go ahead and put new calipers on it. And done it to this side, went ahead and replaced the other side as well. It's good to do them in pairs. But I believe we fixed the issue. We went through and bled the brakes. Everything bled out real well. I've already got the wheel on the other side. It turns well. Thought we'd show this one as well. You can see compared to before, I was having to, I bare everything I had on it, couldn't get it to turn. The only time it turned was when I was trying to loosen the lug nuts. And I was putting, I don't know how many foot-pounds of torque on it, it would barely move. But now, I mean, it'll spin for a second by itself, which is about the way you want a disc brake. So I think we're in good shape now. Just trying to get this old car ready to clean up and put in winter storage. Make a little room here in the garage for the 71 F100 project. So I'm gonna go ahead, lower the jack, get these wheels torqued. I'll probably torque them to about 75 foot-pounds using a torque wrench. That's usually my standard I do on about any wheel, especially an aluminum wheel like this, is around 75 foot-pounds. And that way, if you do have a roadside emergency, you have to pull a wheel off for a flat or brake work or whatever it might be, you know that you'll be able to take it off with the tools that's in the car. Before, I really don't think we could have. So let's go ahead and get this lowered, get this wheels, the front wheels torqued down, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Alright guys, so we just finished up the brake work on this Mustang, getting it all unstuck. I mean, it's in a shape to where didn't really want to budge at all. You guys can see from the video, you couldn't even turn the wheels by hand when you had it up in the air. I bet it took 100, 150 plus foot-pounds just to make the wheel turn. So we ended up, of course, new brake pads, new rotors and brackets, then bled the brake system, and for now I think we're doing pretty good. If we get a chance, we may road test it, but it's already getting late in the evening here. It's dark outside, but I believe we're in good shape. Probably do a video, clean this car up, getting it ready for winter storage. That might be a good video, is how to get your vehicle ready for winter storage. Because like I say, it's done for the season, and we need the extra garage space in here. Some more videos that we're looking at doing for you guys. Got a little bit more going on here with the 94 Chevrolet. Like I mentioned, we got a little funny thing with the brake light on the passenger side, that it works fine if the lights are off, the headlights, park lights are off. But as soon as you cut the headlights and park lights on, it tries to flicker out. And from what I understand, it's that little circuit board, I guess it is, that's on the inside of the tail light. So I may try to swap for one of the original ones, see if that fixes that problem. Plus, we'll have to winterize it for too long, get it ready to go. A few other little knick-knack things to do, like we're wanting to work on. The rear brakes make a little noise. I think it's where the truck is set quite a bit before we purchased it. Just got a lot of dust and dirt built up in the rear drums. Clean up, just some more things, getting it even more roadworthy. But of course, hope we have a lot more videos coming up here pretty quick with the 71 F100 project. But for now, that's where we're at. We'll leave you guys there. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. At this point, we're officially over 100 subscribers, which may not be a lot to several people on here, but to us, it means a whole lot. That was our first goal, was to reach 100, and we finally got there. As of right now, I think it's 102. So thanks to everybody that has subscribed. Now we'd like to go ahead and maybe get to 250. With the end goal being get to 1,000. So, or 1,000 plus, I should say. But for right now, we're going to leave out in the garage. We're finished up with the Mustang right now. But we'll get back to you guys later. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, and God bless.